August 14th, 2003. Sultry, hot, sticky, gray, horrible summer day. And I'm anchoring the 4 o'clock show.
Bruce Sellery, journalist at Business News Network.
Some people hear that word and they go a little nuts. They go a little like, oh, accountability. I don't like that. It's blame, it's burden. That's not how I view accountability. As you can imagine, I think accountability is the biggest opportunity in business today.
He's a former marketer with real experience in cubicle land.
As you know, I used to work for Procter Gamble. I was the one for Royale facial tissue. Those decorative boxes that match your shower curtain. Mine. Yeah.
Sellery is a keynote speaker at corporate events and association conferences across North America.
Ben, this is your big moment. It's a big deal.
The talk is titled You're On, capturing the power of personal accountability.
If you're someone who's senior in an organization, here's what I'm going to tell you. Accountability is top down. It's your job. Everything shows up in the environment that you create. So if you're the senior person, that's what I'm going to tell you. You the junior person, I'm going to tell you, don't worry about what they're doing. You be accountable yourself, and it'll be okay. So it really depends. And here's the thing. Saying that accountability starts at the top isn't helpful for a junior person.
Sellery brings together his background in the business world with insight gathered from thousands of interviews with CEOs, industry experts, and academics, and his experience on the air.
August 14th, 2003. Sultry, hot, sticky, gray, horrible summer day. And I'm anchoring the 4 o'clock show. And I'm reading the news as if there's something happening. There's nothing happening. But of course, we have a show to do, so I'm reading the news as if there's something happening, and I throw us to commercial break. And then all of a sudden, the lights flash, flare, my computer goes crazy, and everything goes dark. And I turn around, look in the newsroom, black everywhere. The blackout of 2003. So you might be thinking, well, I mean, great, go get a beer. No one else is working. We're a national news network. First of all, we're a national news network. We are on air from coast to coast. So a power failure is not likely occurring in Victoria. Second thing, it is 4:11. The stock market just closed. Our viewers want to know what happens to the cross-trading session on the TSX. This is relevant for them. Third, there are business implications for whatever it is that has occurred. How are businesses going to be affected by such a massive power outage? And fourth, and most important, I was on the air when the jets hit the World Trade Center on September the 11th, 2001. So for any journalist who worked that day, we are constantly living with the question, when is it going to happen again? And while that's not obviously relevant to the viewer at that moment, it's relevant to us in the chair. So I don't know if I'm dealing with a power failure that's 3 blocks wide, or if a generator has been exploded and there's going to be significant consequences. So behind me, the chase producers are making phone calls from their cell phones, trying to call anybody they can to find out what's going on. The writers are scanning what wires we have, given that the emergency generator has revved to life again. The technical people are rebooting all the systems, trying to figure out what we can do. But we have emergency power. We can be on the air. And so we go on the air. And here's how it unfolds. The floor director looks me in the eye, says in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you're on. Hello, I'm Bruce Sellery. You're watching Report on Business Television. As you are no doubt becoming aware, there has been a massive power failure across much of northeastern North America. Toronto, Kingston, and Ottawa are all without power, and much of New York State, including Manhattan, is in the black. And that's all we have. And for the next 3 hours, we talk about what we have. And that's an example, as a journalist, of what it is to be on at work. Now, here's my assertion. You may not host a live news program, but you know what I mean when you need to be on. You're leading a meeting, you're doing analysis, you're running a business, you're doing something in which the behavior that you exhibit affects a great deal of people. So that really is the context for our conversation this morning, is what is it for you in the pharmaceuticals industry to be on at work? We as people are fundamentally not accountable. And we're fundamentally not accountable because we get the math wrong. So here is the math as we think it is. No results plus an excuse almost equals a result. No results plus an excuse almost equals a result. Almost. Not quite, but almost. Procter Gamble. My advertising didn't score well. Plus, legal wouldn't let me say what I wanted to say. Almost equals pretty good advertising. Not quite, but pretty good. Pretty good. And that's the math that we use. That's the math that we live by. So give me some examples of excuses in the pharmaceuticals industry. Come on, rich, eh? Okay, I'm just going to say, I'm going to use an acronym and see if you get what I mean. The PAB. PAB? PAAB. Pharmaceuticals Advertising Board? Advisory Board.
The word advisory is used advisedly.
Oh, I'll be very careful. Or Health Canada. Or the legal department. What are some other excuses? There was a lot of nods of recognition when I said excuses. What are some of the ones that you would hear? Budget. There's no money. We had the money, now there's no money. We can't market this without money. What else?
Can't see the right doctors.
Can't see the right doctors because they're too busy?
Because they won't see us.
They won't see us. The doctors won't see us. Very good. What else? I didn't know. I just really didn't know. The traffic. Have you seen the traffic in Toronto? How could I be at the meeting on time? The traffic's insane. It's like Mexico City. What else? What else? Here's another one. This is one of my favorites. I worked really hard. I worked so hard. I was here till 10. I didn't deliver on the project. Plus, I was here till 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. Almost equals the project was done in advance. So that's how we live. And I'm glad that there's some levity around it, because what I want you to make sure you take away is it's not that those circumstances don't exist. It's not that the budget isn't cut, or there isn't enough time, or that you didn't know, or that the email crashed. All that happens. It happens all the time. It's just we use those excuses to absolve ourselves from the results. That's what we do. That is what we do. Now, the funny thing is that the math doesn't work that way, as you well know. Here's how the math actually works. No results plus a reason equals no results. That's how it works. That's really how it works. How many of you are parents? Let me see a show of hands. How many of you are parents? Okay. For the parents, you understand this at a level in which, it's like off the charts, you understand this. And here's how I can tell. My mother raised 5 children, and she had them all from 0 to 8. So 5 kids under 8 years old. I see some of the women out there shaking their heads. She's a crazy woman. But she did. She did. And here's how she does the math. No dinner on the table, plus I didn't sleep all night, I have no help, my husband isn't here, and my kids are a pain, equals no dinner on the table. That's what parents do. That's the math that they do as parents. And yet we don't do that math in the workplace.